Hello E39 source, my name is Andres and this is my 2000 BMW 540i 6-speed. 2000 meaning it's the M62 TUB44 engine and the GetTrack 420G 6-speed manual transmission. I bought this car 7 months ago. It is my first car. Always been a car guy. And I wanted a 6-speed, or at least a manual, and I wanted a V8, and this car fit that bill. I found it with my dad. My dad actually found it, but I was looking. It was in pretty rough shape. The paint was in garbage condition. It was all cracked. Clear coat was burnt off in most places. But I figured, hey, it's a cool project. There's room to work with here. It seems like a nice platform, and it was owned by a mechanic before I got the car, so figured mechanically it would be in good shape. Let's see, so starting off with the maintenance I've done to the car. I bought the car at the end of October of last year, and within a week of owning it, the alternator seized. Don't really know why. Me and my dad and my granddad, who owns a shop, which is where I've done all the maintenance to this, well, we figured that since the fan clutch was bad and the fan wasn't working or something like that, the AC fan must have been running overtime and drawing a lot from the alternator, causing the alternator to burn out. I don't know, that's just a theory, not quite sure why, but anyway, took everything apart there, replaced the alternator with a new alternator. Fan clutch, I was in there, replaced some pulleys as well that were getting old. And right after that I took it to a small little performance driving school. Got to learn the car and learn its limitations. And what I learned from that was that this is a very, very capable car. It has lots of torque, not a staggering amount of horsepower, but for what it is, it's a very quick car. In fact, my driving instructor who autocrosses Miatas, he was so impressed with the torque because he's used to having practically no torque in the little 1.8 liter Miata. He really loved the car. I really grew to like the car there. Drove it, it was 250 miles home. Car didn't cause a single problem. So then a week after that, let's see, got my first warning light, low coolant level. Wasn't quite sure what was going on there, so I took it into my granddad's shop, pressure tested it, one of the hoses was bad, replaced that, and all was well. Then let's see, took it to a paint shop, had it painted same color, whole body, not just parts of it, and they did a very good job matching it. And while I was at it, I had plasti dipped the wheels, what was the color? Anthracite gray. And the reason I did that was because the wheels were really pitted, the metal was pitted, and it was in really bad condition, and the plasti dip did a good job at hiding that, and gave the car this sort of meaner look. And yeah, it took a week to paint it, which was pretty quick, all things considered. Did a very good job. Very few imperfections for what I paid for the paint job. And while I was getting the car back, I also did the rear brakes and pads. I can't remember if I did the front rotors, but I definitely did the front pads. Front rotors are the same as when I got the car, and let's see if I can focus in on that. Well, I can't really get a good view of them with the light, but they looked practically new and there's still no lip on them. So those were in good shape. I also did the facelift headlights and the M5 front bumper cover. Now, a lot of people I know sort of get on my case. Oh, you're turning it into an M5 clone. I like to say that, well, the 03 M Sports kind of had a similar bumper, so it's just an 03 M Sport clone. I like to joke around with that. But in fact, the original bumper cover was all torn up on the bottom from the previous owner. It had been ripped on parking stops and such. So I figured, well, it needs to be replaced. Why not make the car look a little bit nicer with the M5 bumper cover? And when I bought the car, the owner had also intended to facelift the headlights, but never got around to it. So he threw in the headlights, and I just had to install them. I wired the angel eyes into the side orange parking lights. So when the parking lights are on, the angel eyes are on, and I like to keep it that way. I think it's just an easy way to do it, and it looks good. Let's see what else I've done. Front kidneys are still the anthracite gray, same color as the wheels. But just a couple weeks ago, I kind of got tired of the anthracite and repainted them in silver. Normal paint, not Plasti Dip. I think it makes the car look a little bit classier. And yeah, I just like the look of the silver better. The car is incredibly dirty right now. I don't know if the camera will pick it up well, but I just waxed it and washed it just a week ago, but here in Florida, it rains a lot. And well, the car just got incredibly dirty over the last week. What else have I done? So over the course of, say, 6 months, 5 months, since where I left off with the car getting painted, I've done a clutch on it, replaced it with a OEM M5 clutch. The feel is great. Definitely has a lot more clamping power. And I also did a Bavarian Autosport clutch unlock valve. Also helped with the feel. The original clutch had what I believe was 120,000 miles on it. The car is sitting at 181. The first clutch lasted 40. The second lasted 141, which is a lot for these cars. And I replaced it with the M5 clutch, and it's all good. I installed a Bavarian Autosport billet aluminum shift knob, which I'll show you when I get to the interior. Looks really good. I've done a water pump, thermostat, valley pan, expansion tank. What else have I done? A bunch of other assorted stuff, and I'll add the list to the description with all the mileages that I did that at. It's a really long list, and I can't remember everything right now, but I've finally gotten the car to the point where it's reliable, and I drive it every day, and it's just a nice car. It's a really nice driver's car. Let me go to the interior right now. First thing you'll notice is the driver's seat is pretty worn. Let's change out of here. Driver's seat's pretty worn. It has 181,000 miles, and this side thing is loose, and the paint on it, or whatever it is in pretty bad condition. It's missing a knob. Have all the parts. I have the spare thing at home, but I've just never gotten around to installing it. 6-speed manual, as I said, and the carpets are very dirty because I haven't cleaned them in a little while. But in my opinion, the pedal position is great in this car, or at least for me and the size of my feet. Great for heel toe, all that good stuff. There's my shift knob. One problem with this shift knob is it gets incredibly hot when it sits in the sun, and it can be a nuisance to have to get in the car after a long day where it's been sitting. Let me start the car up here. So, once that inspection thing goes away, there it goes. No service engine soon lights, which I'm very happy about. This car, it was 3 months I was driving it with the service engine soon light because of the secondary air injection system. I never got around to fixing it, and then I finally took care of it, got rid of the service engine light, and it just changes the whole look of the dash, makes everything look clean, no problems, idles well. Although, of course, with an old cluster, I do have burnt pixels. But that doesn't really bother me. I can still read what it's trying to tell me. I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing that. Temperature, never overheated since I've had it. Don't know if it was overheated before with the previous owners, but stays right in the middle, just where I like it. AC runs great. Burnt pixels here as well, but doesn't really bother me. This cable's stuck here. what I've done here is done one of these weird cassette things because this has no aux cable, and that works well, does its job. Some people rag on the sound quality from these, but it doesn't really bother me, and I can't really tell much of a difference. Passenger seat's in much better condition. All the leather in the car, aside from the driver's seat, is pretty clean. Took a long time cleaning everything, making it look nice. I don't like there's a small stain there on the seat belt that I need to take care of. If you have any recommendations as far as how to deal with that, please leave it in the comments. I'd appreciate it. There you go, there's the back seat and everything. Sunroof, piece of junk there. Sunroof works, which is nice. Previous owner did all the window regulators, which is nice not to have to deal with. Let's see what else I've done. I've done a single scuba tank delete, not a full muffler delete. Wanted to see how that sounded, and overall, I like the sound. It's a little bit louder when you get on it, but when you're cruising, you really can't tell a difference. There's no drone, nothing like that, and it really wakes up the whole feeling of driving the car, because before, when you couldn't really hear the exhaust sound, well, it just wasn't exciting as it is now. Also did a shift bushing. The shifts are nice and crisp. Although the throws are long, I haven't done a short shifter, nor do I feel like I need to. I don't need to make my shift times quicker or anything like that. There's just no need for it for my personal reasons. Pop the hood so y'all can see in there. Also did a new hood roundel as well when I painted the car. There's the engine. It's very hot outside right now, so the fan's running. Let's see, now that it's coming to me, you know, looking at the engine, I did a rear main seal, I believe it was, and a front crankcase seal, whatever it is. Hoses, stuff like that. The valve covers are not leaking, and they were painted by the previous owner. Just a couple cracks in the paint, no big deal. The oil filter housing was loose, tightened that up with a new bushing right here. Headlights are OEM Hella. They're a little bit scratched, but from 2 feet away you can't really tell. As far as the engine and all that stuff, it's completely stock, no tune, nothing like that. If I keep the car for a long time, I'm probably going to do a rebuild, do the timing chain guides, tensioner, all that stuff, Vanos. There's not much rattle from it right now, and I'm not really concerned with that. I was running Mobil 1 530 synthetic. Wanted to see if I could tell a difference with 1040 as far as cold startups, and the 1040 helped a little bit, but there's not much of a difference there. Cabin filter, did that when I first got the car. Air filter, just general maintenance stuff. As far as maintenance that I've done, I can't really think of anything else right now, but I will post the full list in the description of this video for you all to inspect. There is the single tank delete. Just cut the other one off and close the opening, welded it. Does its job, works fine, sounds good. Other than that, I really can't think of anything. I posted an article, or a sort of a write-up to E39 Source months ago, and I said I would make a video, and I never got around to it, but I finally am. So, yeah, this is my 2000 546. Oh, one thing to mention. This is an eBay front bumper cover, and people rag on these because they don't fit, but with very, very slight modification, they line up very well for what you pay. I mean, the difference between the fender, whatever you want to call it, here and then here, there's barely a gap. So I think it looks good. Same thing on this side. Alright guys, so a couple things I left out. My camera cut out unexpectedly, don't know why. But a couple things. One, I don't know why, I guess the plastic's cracked underneath, but when I close the hood, this kidney will pop out a little bit like that. You have to pop it back in, which is kind of obnoxious. Didn't always do that, but whatever. Now that I remember it, new windshield seal. Right here, it's a little lifted. Whatever, it's not coming out. Same there. Rear seal as well. And new roundel back here. I'd like to do the facelift tails. I haven't gotten around to it. One question I do want to ask, and I'll post the maintenance facts in the description so you can sort of have something to base your opinion on besides just what I've told you and the looks of the car. If this car were to sell, what do you think it could sell for? Because that's something I'm curious about. Just comment and let me know what you think this car could sell for. That's all I've got for you today, so thank you for tuning into the video once again, and I'll see you whenever I post another video of this.